Where did you get that?
I sleep on this ring. Yes, every night like this.
Oh.
Asesino, liberador, aventurero, vikingo, esclavo romano, vaquero, oficial del ejército, policía, ladrón, director de películas. Apenas podemos imaginar un personaje al que él no haya dado una fiera chispa de vida.
Now, what we put on the screen, it'll make the backs of their necks crawl.
For the first time in my life, people cheering for me. Never ever gonna go to work for a job I despise. Never. As long as we live, we must stay true to ourselves.
I want to make love to you.
Where's that big story to get me out of here?
When you're on the screen, no matter who you're with, what you're doing, the audience is looking at you. That's star quality.
Every role that you play on the screen is a little bit of yourself, but it's a role. Maybe there's a little bit of me that's Spartacus. You know, a little bit of me that's the Viking, but I am not Spartacus. I am Issur Danielovitch, el hijo del tapero, and I must not forget that.
It's been a long time. This way.
Something to live for, something to live for.
When I work on a picture, it's like romancing a girl. You see her, you want her, you go after her. The big moment. Then the letdown. Every time, every picture, the after-picture blues.
Please, please don't leave.
Every character that you play in a movie or on the stage, the actor hides behind. And I've always had a theory that I think that most actors are really shy people.
Yes.
Myself included.
Really?
And I think that the most difficult thing is what I'm doing now, to sort of be yourself. It's much easier to hide behind a character.
You know what it is to be real poor? Cold poor, hungry poor.
I came from, I guess, Michael, what you'd call abject poverty. If not having enough to eat, you know, days where you didn't have food, I guess that's poor.
You're cute. But why?
Because I've got something better to do.
For me, was an advantage because I was on the bottom. I couldn't go lower. I had to go up.
My story is so typical of so many people in the United States,
yes.
You know, who come from immigrant parents, and you sort of work your way through college, and you go to dramatic school, and you are fortunate enough to go into the kind of work that you'd like to do, and it's sort of a, what I call a corny American story.
Not a bad actor, right director, and a part that...
Well, you keep, you keep trying, and as a matter of fact, I was fortunate. I was in several Broadway plays. None of them were successes. And then a very dear friend of mine, Betty Bacall, who later became Lauren Bacall, was talking to Hal Wallace, and I was in a play, and she said, look, if you go to New York, you got to look up this actor that I went to school with called Kirk Douglas.
It's what people want, how hard they want it, how hard it is for them to get it.
I love the script, and I love the idea of playing a different kind of role. I played these weak characters, and suddenly I played champion, and overnight I thought it was a tough guy.
Once I lived the life of a millionaire.
If you want to catch from me, you'll mind your own business.
My money, I didn't care.
after Champion, there was a well-known columnist called Hedda Hopper, who after she saw the picture said, you know, Kirk, my gosh, he says, ever since this picture Champion, she said, you've really become a son of a bitch. I said, no. I said, Hedda, you're wrong. I was a son of a bitch before Champion, but you never noticed it.
About 10 years ago, I hid them somewhere and haven't been able to find them.
Bullshit.
Please don't go, Paul. If you only knew how lonely I was before you came here.
I know all about loneliness. Only I don't whine about it.
That was the movie that destroyed my theory of acting. I have always felt that an actor must always be in control. He never loses himself in the role that he's playing. He gives the impression. That's the talent of being an actor. When I did Van Gogh, I felt that I was beginning to get lost in the character. My wife would say when I came home after shooting, she said for hours after that, she felt I was still Van Gogh. So it upset me. When I finished the picture, for a long time, I never would look at the picture.
Let's quit. I want to get out of here.
Just keep dealing. I'm not breaking this run. Hit me.
I remember I was driving in a little car to Palm Springs where I have a house, and I saw a sailor, and I was used to be in the Navy, and he was hitchhiking, so I stopped, and he ran up and got in the car. And he got in the car, he took a look at me, and he said, do you know who you are?
It's a very sexy laugh. Look, when I want to lecture on the aesthetics of motion pictures, I'll ask for it. And it won't be on my time, and it won't be a cover-up for a shallow and inept interpretation of a great scene.
The reason I formed my production company was I didn't want a writer just to hand me a script, and I play the role. I wanted to participate in more of the creative aspects of making a film. Stanley is very proud, and I thought he was unfair.
I can't believe that the noblest impulse of man, his compassion for another, can be completely dead here.
Is a person can have a lot of talent and not be a nice person. The difficulty of making a spectacle, a big picture, is that very often the background dominates the actor. But I think in Spartacus, the actors dominate the background.
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus! I'm Spartacus! I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus.
Well, Dalton Trumbo, I didn't exactly call him back because he was writing all the time, but always under a false name. And the hypocrisy of that disturbed me. So I said, look, I want to use Dalton Trumbo, and I insist on using his name. And after that, I'm proud to say that it broke the blacklist.
The world that you and Paul live in doesn't exist. Maybe it never did.
It's one of the films I like very much.
Never call a man that, no matter what, never do it.
In Lonely Are the Brave, I played a nice person.
I
don't very often play nice people.
Yeah.
People always say, why do you play evil people? Well, I say virtue is not photogenic. I like people who are a little méchant.
If I'm gonna die, at least let me die with the only friend I ever had. You ready? Try it on this. Hey, wait till I get clear.
Got a whale of a tale to tell you lies, a whale of a tale or two, about the flapping fish and the girls I've loved.
And I think you have to retain a childish quality within you. You know, it's a childish profession. You know, to pretend to be a cowboy shooting it out with Burt Lancaster, a grown-up man. You know, you have to be childlike.
just want to get a good look at you.
With Bert and me, it's 1 and 1 makes 3. Individually, we're 1. Together, we're not 2, we're 3.
Are you sufficiently up on your Bible to know who Judas was?
Yes, I know who Judas was. He was a man I worked for and admired until he disgraced the 4 stars on his uniform.
Go, power. I'm gonna kick off my shoes and dance.
The fact is, without your job and without the money in your pocket, you're nothing. Well, look at you. You know the most impressive part of you right now? That cigar.
In a sense, I'm a failure because I always thought I was going to be a Broadway star, which I never became.
Worse than us have done better, Mrs. Summers. We're mere men, but a man's nature's enormous. It contains both the great and the small.
I think you have to try to, if people who have more than other people have to help the people who have less. That's my philosophy. I think it's very important.
We've been knocking off a lot of guys who've been making soap out of my relatives.
All through my life, people would say, oh, you don't look Jewish. I don't know what that means.
Draw a chalk line and I'll walk it. Or I'll take a mental test. Any question like, what is my object in life?
I think in life, you never stop. You must continue to grow. Yeah. And I think it sounds corny. I think at this stage of my life, I find a desire to be a better person.
Don't try me, please. Come on, draw! Then you draw.
Las películas se dirigen a millones de personas en todo el mundo. Eso es poder. Poder para hacer algo más que solo divertir, lo que también es importante. Poder para llamar la atención sobre algunos de los problemas del mundo y ayudar a convertirlo en un lugar mejor para vivir.
Que una paloma triste, muy de mañana, le va a cantar a una casita sola con sus puertitas de par en par. Juran que esa paloma no es otra cosa más que su alma.
I'm proud.
Estoy orgulloso de esta profesión.
I built my whole life on hating my father. All that time he was inside me laughing.
Kirk Douglas, which became my legal name, is the name but Issur Danielovitch is the one who has the talent.
I'm not going to be a hey you all my life. I want to hear people call me Mister. I never gave up. Hasta la vista. Adios, amigo.